What are all the parts in a computer? Let's find out. There are many parts to a computer, and they can be broken down into two categories: hardware and software. Today we will be focusing on the hardware parts only. The first part is the case. The case is what holds all the parts together and protects them from damage. A good case will have airflow control to keep the parts cool and quiet. The next part is the motherboard. The motherboard is like the brain of the computer. It's a large plate that has all the parts connected to it. The CPU, GPU, and RAM are some of the parts that connect to the motherboard. Now let's talk about the CPU, which stands for Central Processing Unit. The CPU is the brain of the computer. It's what runs all the programs and applications. The CPU has multiple cores. The more cores, the faster the CPU. The CPU also has cache memory, which is used to store data that the CPU needs quick access to. The CPU is connected to the motherboard with a socket. Some CPUs come with a built-in heatsink. If not, you will need to buy one. The heatsink will keep the CPU from overheating. The GPU stands for Graphics Processing Unit. The GPU is responsible for rendering images, videos, and other visual content. The GPU is connected to the motherboard through a PCI Express slot. Some motherboards have multiple PCI Express slots. The GPU can also act as a video output device. This means that you can connect a monitor or TV to the GPU to display images. Some computers do not have a dedicated GPU, in which case the CPU will render the images. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. RAM is used to store data that the CPU needs quick access to. For example, if you're running a program, the program code and any data that the program is using will be stored in RAM. RAM is volatile memory, which means that if the power goes out, the data in RAM will be lost. RAM is measured in bytes. The more RAM you have, the more programs and applications you can run at the same time. Next up is the hard drive. A hard drive is used to store data that the CPU needs long-term. Unlike RAM, a hard drive is non-volatile, which means that the data on the hard drive will not be lost if the power goes out. Hard drives are measured in bytes. Most computers today use solid-state drives, SSDs, instead of traditional hard drives. SSDs are faster and more reliable than traditional hard drives. The next part is the power supply. The power supply provides power to all the parts in the computer. The power supply is connected to the motherboard with a connector. The power supply is also connected to the case with screws. The power supply should be placed in a location where there is good airflow. This will help to keep the power supply cool. The next part is the video card. We already talked about the GPU, but it's worth mentioning that some computers have a separate video card. The video card is connected to the motherboard through a PCI Express slot. The video card connects to the monitor or TV through a video port. Alright, now we're going to talk about the ports. There are many different types of ports on a computer. Some common ports include USB, HDMI, Ethernet, and VGA. Ports are used to connect devices to the computer. For example, you would use a USB port to connect a keyboard or mouse. You would use an HDMI port to connect a monitor or TV. Alright, now we're going to talk about the optical drive. An optical drive is used to read and write data from CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray discs. Most computers come with an optical drive, but it's not essential. You can buy an external optical drive if you need one. The last part we're going to talk about is the sound card. Sound card is used to output audio. Some computers come with a built-in sound card, but you can also buy an external sound card if you want better sound quality. And there you have it. These are all the parts in a computer. Now let's post an image of a gaming PC.